Okay, here's one of my greatest inventions. Also, it's based on the concept of invention, hyperspin engine. Basically, an engine that spins a certain velocity, RPMs, g-forces, velocity, whatever. Uh, Basically, the engine in front of it is going to spin faster than the one behind it. So each one additional engine in front of the other one is going to spin faster and faster and faster, making the whole uh, uh, system spin faster at the front end. Anyway, for instance, we have one engine here, two engines, three, and four. Basically, each engine spins at this section faster for this one, and this section spins faster than this one, and this section spins faster. In other words, we have four engines. Let's say, for example purposes, let's say this one spins, just an example, let's say 10 RPMs, and obviously this one's going to spin 10 RPMs by itself, and this one 10 RPMs and 10 RPMs. But since this one's already spinning right here at 10 RPMs, so this one's going to spin at 10, but since this one's already spinning on top of a already spinning engine, so this one's going to spinning at 10, but it's on top of the other one, so it's spinning 20 now. So this one's 10, 10, 10, 10, and each one's moving at 10 RPM. So this one's 10 RPMs, but this was on top of this moving surface. So this one's going to be moved 10 by itself, plus the one on top of its moving surface, so it's going to be 20. And this is 20 actually right here. This one's 10, but it's moving on top of a already moving surface, so it's 20 plus 10 is 30. And this one's already moving 10 on top of a moving surface, so it's 10 plus 30 equals 40, and so on. So in other words, 10, 20, 30, 40. So each additional engine tube is going to make faster and faster and faster. You could have 4, you could have 10, you could have 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, a million. So the more engines you have, it's going to make it spin faster and faster and faster. Each one's a cylinder tube system. It's solar panels on the outside, so you don't have any wiring connecting to each individual engine and solar panel on top of it. So each engine tube has a solar panel on the outside. And the reason is because it can be powered by the sunlight in space, or here on Earth. You can have lasers to make it charge through the solar panels, or regular bulbs, light bulbs, regular incandescent lights can now actually charge or move the solar panel charging system into the engine. These engines could have battery built into it, or optional, or no battery. But either way, what powers these is the solar panel, and that gives direct energy to the engine system. So here we have one engine system. Here we have 2, 3, 4. Like I said, it's to infinity. Basically, the more engines you have, the faster it spins. But let's say this is the reason is this is our tube system. So let's say this is a 1 ton, 1 ton, 1 ton, 1 ton. Basically, the faster it spins. Let's say this is spinning a 1G. Each spinning a 1G, right? So this is 1G, Earth's gravity. Let's say this is Earth's gravity. The second one's spinning another G, so it's going to be 1G plus this one's 2, 1G plus the other one is 3, 1G plus the other one is 4. So it could be each additional one's going to be spinning faster G's than the other one. So let's say you have 100, for another example purpose, let's say each one's spinning 100 G's, 100 G's, 100 G's, 100 G's. So in this case, you have 100 G's plus 100 each. On top of that's 200 G's. 100 G's plus the other 200 is 300. 100 G's plus 300 is 400 G's. So it's 400,000 G's. So what I'm trying to say is, let's say each one, in this case, each one's 1 ton. So at the end result, that's what going to be spinning faster. So you have this 1 ton becomes instantly 400,000 tons, and this one. So basically, each 1 ton equals 1 Earth gravity. So 1 ton multiplied by at the end result, how many G's? So this, let's say this end result, the last tube, the end result. Let's say it's 400 G's. So that 1 ton becomes 400,000 tons. So let's say, for example, each one spinning at 100,000 G's. Okay, so this one's 100,000 G's, 100,000 G's, 100,000 G's, 100,000 G's. So this one's 100,000 G's plus this 100,000, that equals 200 K, 100,000 Gs, plus 100,000 Gs plus 200 equals 300 K, 300,000 Gs. 100,000 plus 300,000 Gs equals 400,000 Gs. So it means that if this is a 1 ton, 1 ton, 1 ton, 1 ton, that means that this 1 ton, which is spinning 100,000 Gs, the 1 ton is 100,000 pounds, or tons, I'm sorry, 100,000 tons. This 200,000 tons, 200,000 Gs is actually, for 1 ton, is 200,000 tons. And this 300,000 Gs for 1 ton is 300,000 tons. And as you can see, it's the one in front of it's always going to spin faster, so the weight's going to get heavier and heavier. So when you have a tube, and as you process or as you walk forward into the furthermost tunnel or tube, the tubes become heavier and heavier to a point where they become self-sustaining by acquiring its own gravity. So as you walk further, now you have gravity itself. So it starts affecting time. So let's say you're walking from this point, and the further you go down the tube, the more time is going to be affected. So you can have a spacecraft, or you can walk into it, as long as you don't walk to the sides, but you have to walk into the center. You have to walk in the center, object or vehicle, whatever. It has to go through the center and not to the sides. So in the center, it's equal gravity. You don't get pulled from each side. Well, you actually do, but the point is, this concept is like I said, you start from this point. The further you go, the more gravity affects on your body, the more time affects your body and stuff, and it pulls on your electrons, on your atoms. So it does affect your time. So it actually affects time as you go further into the tunnel, and so on.